Hey everyone, this one you're gonna want to hear. Starloss 1 year anniversary is soon. That's right, 1 year ago on May 3rd, Starloss' very first session was posted. So, we're gonna celebrate by doing a 24-hour live stream. Join the Starloss crew and some of our friends as we celebrate 1 year of this insane journey. We'll be playing games, having events, and not only celebrating the launch of our Ko-fi, but also our first line of merch. You won't want to miss it, so make sure to be there April 30th at noon Eastern for the start of the event. And without further ado, enjoy the rest of the episode.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Starlost Seas. I'm Kyle Lane.
With the
Pulse is on a fault line today. When last we left our intrepid party, they had undertaken a little request from the Westwood while Sanctuary is preparing for the coming of Gillian and Starlost Twink and his giant magic cannon. You all have been sent to retrieve a relic from the feywild in Arlashna's old home, a large gathering temple in the old Westwood city of Siloch. You entered her temple after a little bit of difficulty with a stone pillar. And you quickly discovered a nice big open auditorium space where she used to address the masses. It has since fallen to ruin, covered in vines and stagnant water, out of which rose a number of large feywild originating spiders, leading Arlashna to conclude that there is another breach to the Feywild here in Salok also, most likely spurned on by the same relic you're looking for. You then fought the spiders, and after some difficulty and strange charms from them, you managed to defeat them all, and continue onward after taking an hour to recover. And then, as you descended into the lowest level of the temple, the living quarters, you discovered an entire forest had melded with the cavernous depths. And that's where we left our session. So we are starting right back there in that same hallway, looking out into this strange mishmash, almost an MC Escher painting of walls and doors and trees stretching out into the dark in front of you.
Do we know any doors we shouldn't be opening?
I'll be quite honest with you. No.
Huh.
Last time you started opening doors, Mara, spear went through your arm.
I'm like shimmying over to a door slowly. I open it.
You open the door.
Whatever door's closest to me.
Okay. You just grab a door and open it. There's just like a room that has a large tree grown like partway through it. There's like an old ramshackle bed in there. Seemingly like a trunk that's fallen to pieces. Nothing of note.
I wouldn't booby trap this place. There's no way, right?
I'm just saying, when Socks opened the door once, he got shot in the shoulder. And then, like, 20
which
minutes
one?
later, he died.
Wait, which one?
I don't know, he just got shot in the shoulder by Walk. Or
Oh.
Doc. Not you, Doc.
Oh, that's
Another
true.
Doc.
There's another
I
dog.
forgot about that.
There's another Doc. He's, like, very tall. Much taller than you.
The hell?
Yeah, you're Doc 2 now.
Doc 2. I'm the one that's here right now. I should just be Doc.
Oh, he was here first, though. We knew him before we knew you.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So
Where
that
is he
makes
now?
you Doc 2. Doesn't
Where
matter.
is
You're
he
still
now?
Doc 2. It doesn't matter. Still Doc 2.
How's he spell it?
I don't really care.
It's more how you
Doc 1.
say it, you know? Because we have to
Yeah,
refer
I
to
say
you as
yours
Doc.
with a 2 after it, and I just call him Doc.
Whatever.
Arlashna just kind of leads down to Lotus and is like, "Can I borrow this?" to the torch.
Here you go.
Takes the torch. Then she just chucks it into like the forest, into the dark.
Goodbye.
That doesn't seem smart. That's gonna catch fire.
And the torch just like clatters to the ground there in the mist, and then just and it's just dark again. She goes,
I
Well,
can't
okay.
see now.
Is that magical darkness?
"Yeah, I couldn't see through it, and I can see very far in the dark, so
So this isn't gonna work. It kind of points at the hour.
it'll work for a short distance, but shorter than normal."
Fuck.
Wait, so we're not going to be able to see through it, even though, like, I'd say a decent chunk of us can see in the dark? I've never come across this.
Sounds like it's advanced darkness.
It's a
Yeah.
rare phenomenon.
Advanced darkness.
That's
Darkness 2.
that's spooky.
The
I
only
wanna
thing
hit
that'll
you guys with a
illuminate
thorn
it
whip.
is magical light. Your horde should do well.
So,
God, I wish I had my ring right now.
maybe you shouldn't have lost it.
Excuse the fuck out of me?
Anyway. Doc just starts walking.
Yes, follow behind Doc in the light irradiated from the hour. It's got a bright range of 10 feet and a dim range of 20, so you can see similar to a torch. And as you walk the 15 or 20 feet proper into this dark forest, the torch like reappears on the edge of that glow. It's still burning. Its light doesn't reach out beyond the short distance in front of it.
Lotus is gonna go and fetch it.
Thank you for your contribution, Lotus.
Might want to put it out before we accidentally burn ourselves because we can't see it.
Does anybody have water? Lotus!
I'll just use my ring to put
Ring
out the
pops open and just the torch out.
Boop.
You just toss it.
Wait, but you can still use that?
I'm gonna go pick the torch back up.
Oh,
Go pick the torch back up
I'm
from
just
like the
gonna
edge
put it
of
in
the
my
dark.
Okay. So, how well do you remember the layout? And how effective would that still be here?
Well, considering there are many walls that should be straight up that are now at angles, I'm going to say my memory has very minimal influence.
I wish I had my ring.
Do you know what part of the feywild might be causing this?
No, not particularly. I haven't quite been everywhere. Some places are out of my purview, so to speak.
Cool. So we're both literally and metaphorically in the dark.
Oh, yes, we are. That's
I
good.
say smartest idea. Just keep moving straight. Mark trees as we go on, just in case there's no magical looping that happens.
Makes sense.
Lotus pulls out a dagger.
I pull out my hand axe at the same time.
the tree cutting siblings. They return to the Feywild yet again.
One of these weapons is a little bit less effective at cutting trees, I would say, but
But what about 2 daggers?
equally as ineffective.
Just mark a
Lotus
tree.
pulls out another dagger.
Hey, well, as we go along, I'm gonna be hitting trees with my hatchet. It's like
Okay.
making nicks in them.
Hey, Lotus,
Mm-hmm.
can I see that spear?
My this one?
Pull out my artisan's tools. And I hit the tip of it, and it just creates a light on the end of it.
Hey, you do know how to do that. There you go. Yeah, the spear just glows at the tip. It's got the same radius as the hour. So you have two points of light now in your group.
Starloss is glowing!
Anybody else want one? I can do it a couple more times.
I'll reach out my battle axe.
Ding!
You know what?
Ripple of light across the axe head.
I got a quarterstaff. Pull it out.
Donk.
Your rod glows in the dark.
I'm just like, I'll hold it out. I'll hold it out like that. This is cool.
I'll keep my axe on my back so the light is kind of coming from me.
Behind your shoulders, your wings just. I like that imagery. Yeah. Continue on through the dark a bit longer. Dolus marking trees. On the way, it's quiet. Really uncomfortably quiet. Even the first time you entered the Feywild on accident in Twinktania, you still heard like wind and the general sounds of forests around you, but here it's just silent. Like a silent like you've never known. Yes.
I'd like to, like, I'm just, as we're walking around, do like a fake cough. And just to, like, a little bit louder than what I did, but like to hear how much it echoes.
And you get some echoes off of trees around you in the dark, and it kind of goes off in various directions. It's about what you'd expect from a quiet forest.
Essentially, what I'm trying to ascertain is whether or not there's like a magical like sound dampening.
There doesn't seem to be any kind of magical sound dampening as you cough. It is just quiet.
Okay.
Eerily so.
Since it's awkwardly quiet, I'll do that like clear throat thing. That's just like because you hear other people do a sound while it's silent. You're like just just awkwardly.
Like it's dead here.
A little bit. Kind of creepy.
We don't really have much option other than to keep going.
Yeah.
Lotus under her breath is like, 99 bottles of ale on the wall, 99 bottles of ale. Take one down, pass it around, 98 bottles of ale on the wall.
Lotus begins her trudge through the 100 bottles of ale that are on the wall.
I just want to know when it gets to 76, I'm going to go, fucking stop.
Okay.
Does she get to 76?
You're gonna get to 76.
Fuck!
A couple more minutes have passed, Lotus. You're 76 bottles of ale on the wall.
I love that it's like adjusted fantasy-wise to ale, as if milk isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Gotta
Wait until
replace
you
the
find
milk.
out by the fact that the original saying is beer.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Hey,
what?
man.
I've never heard milk in my life.
I've only heard milk
I have heard milk before.
I've only
That's-
heard milk.
I've heard
in my
milk.
life.
Okay, I'm about to say, I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, that's a thing?
Yeah, no. In my life, I've only heard milk.
I've also heard pop on the wall, which is weird because I'm not from a region that calls soda pop. Anyways.
Moving.
Yeah, so Lotus Twink interrupts you, asking you, pleading, demanding you to stop.
But I'm bored.
Okay, but when we're not in this like dark forest and you're bored, you don't do that. Why did you start now?
Because I'm bored. Also, it's quiet. And it's like,
I know, it's
I
so
don't know.
peaceful. It's so peaceful.
I'm just making sure I don't lose my hearing.
Should we be a little stealthy while we're going through this?
It's absolutely silent. The chances of that are 0.
Yes. Also, I feel like if we wanted to be stealthy, any chances of that have been washed away somewhere around the 89th bottle of ale. As you come up upon a wall, like a solid wall that doesn't have any doors on it, and you are now going to have to pick a direction.
What directions are there?
Left and right, I assume.
There's a wall in front of you, and otherwise
We can turn
the
around,
world
I
is
guess.
your oyster. I'm like, you could go left, you could go right, you could turn around. There's a whole 180 degrees back here that you could choose.
Do we want to follow along one side of the wall?
I mean, that's
Probably
the
best
best
bet.
way to get through a place you don't know where you are.
We have to pick one side and stick to it.
Yep.
Left or right?
I vote right.
Well, I pick left.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Which way did the staircase come down from? Like, because was the staircase like direct, like straight down?
Oh yeah, straight
into
in.
it? Okay.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know
pull
why
out
that
a
logic
gold
tried to
piece.
apply.
I'm gonna pull out a gold piece. Heads or tails? Heads left, tails right.
Wait, have we determined if gold pieces have heads and tails on them?
They miss it.
They
do
do
now.
now.
They do now.
I'm gonna flip a gold piece.
All right, you flip a gold piece, and it's tails.
Left it is.
Get fucked, Mara.
I'll just start
Oh.
walking to the left.
Dolus just heads off to the left. Mara's kind of like, oh. You guys walk with the wall to your right side now, and you've got to go around some of the trees, but you generally try and keep that wall in sight. And as you're walking along, there are cracks along it and breaks, and you start getting further in, and it happens always because of this. Mara, you're the first to notice. A couple of the trees as you're walking along have arrows stuck in them.
Guys, there's some couple of arrows stuck in the trees.
Huh?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't think that's a good sign.
Are they reusable?
Well, most arrows are.
Let's try and figure it out.
figure what out.
Lotus is gonna walk over. I'm assuming Mara points the arrows out.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so Lotus is gonna walk over to some of the arrows and like. Do you think it's a good or bad idea to pluck these arrows out for Dolus?
Well, your brother
Bruh.
uses a crossbow, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're bolts. Never mind.
I
Yeah, probably
appreciate
don't
the
need
thought, though.
Yeah. So you move along. As you go, all of you now a little more aware to keep an eye out for arrows and weaponry and that sort of thing. You start to notice, like, as you're moving along this path, there are, like, weapons here and there. Swords, like, on the ground, arrows stabbed into things. At one point you come across some spears that are just, like, jammed into the wall.
Do any of them look particularly nice and or stand out?
They all look ancient. Like, they all just look weather-worn. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, the metal seems like it's solid still, but all of the wood components are kind of worn and clearly untreated for centuries, millennia even.
I mean, even metal after that amount of time would still be.
But it is magic metal.
Any shields?
You're not
I want a
finding.
shield.
You're not really finding any shields. It's almost
Okay.
all. It's almost all just weaponry.
Doc's gonna go over to a couple of the spears that are buried in. You said the wood's pretty much.
The wood
Fucked.
stool is lost, basically. If you try and pull one of those spears out, the rod's just coming apart in your hand.
So you don't think I could grab it like closer to like Because you know
You
how
can grab
spears
it
have,
by
like,
the
a
base of the
metal-
metal and just pull the spearhead out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to pull the spearhead out.
Make a quick strength check for me.
Oh, I could do a strength check. 21.
21. Yeah. So you give it a quick boom, boom, and like the crack on the wall gets a little bigger, and then you finally just bop and pull it out, and like as expected, the handle just kind of breaks off halfway down. You're left with like a third of a spear.
Yeah, if possible, I'm actually just gonna try and
Two-thirds
rip the wood all the way out of the.
Oh
head.
yeah, you can manage that with your strength as it currently is. We'll just use that roll for both. Yeah, you just rip the wood out, and it's just a spearhead. It's this like it's a grayish material.
You said the metal still looks like it's in great condition.
The metal doesn't look like it's in great condition. It looks like if you smelted it down, it could be repurposed into something now. But as it is, you wouldn't want to use any of these weapons.
Which seems weird considering the wood seems like it's been here for like centuries, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, metal just lasts
Metal takes a lot
longer.
Yeah.
Well, right, but
So, but it is, yeah, it's essentially gotten to the point where they're sharp rocks, more so than they are bladed or pointed tips.
Yeah. Doc kind of turns over the head in his hand and is just like, always taught to salvage. Figure we might as well take some of this.
what kind of metal is that? Twink, do you know?
Doc kind of offers the metal to Twink.
Not at first glance, you don't.
Cool. I mean,
What about a second glance? What if he turns away and looks back at it?
Double take.
Twink, make a history check.
fuck. Okay. That's a 21.
Hey! You don't recognize the metal, but you recognize the craftsmanship upon further inspection. It's definitely old Westwood stuff. Like stuff you've read about and seen in museums.
I mean, I don't recognize the metal, but it was definitely forged here.
Here, like here in the Feywild, or here in this old Westwood?
Oh. I mean, we're not in the Feywild, we're in the Westwood.
Alright.
Oh. Yeah, no, here.
Arlashna.
Like here.
And kind of turn over and hold the
You
arrow
turn over,
with it.
and this whole time Arlashna has been like silent since you guys started seeing things, and she is just all the color has drained from her face.
Kind
you
of
alright?
like, he offers it out and then kind of pulls it back, seeing her face.
I think I do know what forest we're in.
Okay, what
Alright.
forest are we in?
It is the forest of the lost.
Okay.
And it is best if we proceed on with utmost haste, because we do not want to remain here.
Okay.
Well, I can only go so fast. My body is decaying rapidly from the inside out.
I'll carry you.
Alright.
Doc kind of twirls the spearhead and puts it in his bag and kind of offers to piggyback Dolus.
Dolos just kind of looks at him in the piggyback position, just like looks down, like hesitantly.
Wait, aren't all of us?
Everybody but Mara.
Yeah, so you
It's
piggybacking
slowed.
him isn't going to do anything. We're all slow.
We're fine.
No, you guys, Mara healed you guys. Mara restored you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh, I
right.
forgot
Dolus
about
is
that.
the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
slowed
yeah.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Piggyback.
So yeah, no, I just looked
But
down.
then that just cuts you in half.
I'm pretty strong. It shouldn't hinder.
It doesn't
too
matter.
much,
Anytime
I
that you
guess.
carry any character, it cuts your speed in half.
Well, fuck.
What if he runs? Then he'll be at normal speed.
Keep a
which is
normal
still
jog.
faster than I can go.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
We'll argue that you could go. It'll be faster than Dolus at a light jog. He's got hollow bird bones.
Yeah, I'm like,
Bow.
He's a hollow bird boy.
I'll get on Doc's back.
All right.
You guys managed to speed up a little bit now that you've got Dolus slinged up on your back.
So, what's the Forest of the Lost?
Forest where the lost go.
That checks out, but why is it called that? Like, what causes them to come here?
Well, most of them came here before they died, and then they died here.
What killed him?
Oh, so you're saying they can't escape?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
We're alive though, so we can.
Did until we die, and then we can't. If we die here, we're fucked.
Yes, which is why we should really hurry things along. She's
Noted.
like, just clearly very uncomfortable.
How big is this forest?
In the Feywild, equivalent to your Twinktania as it is now.
Okay.
That's not the worst.
It's not the best either. It's pretty big now.
That's pretty big.
Just keep fucking moving then.
That's the plan.
Unless you want to rip a hole in the wall.
Hopefully the whole thing's not here, and this is just part of it.
That would be preferential. Yes.
I was gonna offer to continue what Dolus was doing, but if we're being fast, then should we just stop marking the trees?
I smacked the wall. We've got the wall.
Okay.
Okay. You guys continue on. And as you're continuing, the weapons are getting like more prevalent along the ground all over the place.
I don't like this.
Fine. These are always here. Just like stepping over them all.
But why are there more of them now?
Probably because we're getting towards the center.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What's bringing everything to the center?
That's a very good question, Twink.
Is it the bad cat?
The what?
The what?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's very minor to what we might encounter.
The sprites were talking about a big cat. Said he's an asshole. You like that?
Oh yes, the one in the bamboo forest.
Yeah.
He's just a big cat. They just think he's an asshole because he eats them. That's how the food chain.
Is this thing an asshole to us?
There are just spirits here. There's nothing here physical.
Okay.
Might be worse, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, that sounds worse.
I don't want to see more spiders.
I don't think there's a spider.
Unless it's a spirit spider.
Oh, that's worse.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
I can punch ghosts.
Okay.
You can what?
Kitty.
Just carry on.
You all just carry on with that revelation he out of Lotus.
Love that it's something that Lotus knows that she can do.
I know. Like she hasn't tested it yet. She just knows she can punch ghosts.
In her heart of
chosen.
hearts.
I've chosen. I can punch ghosts.
I've chosen to be able to
Jasper chose violence today.
She took exercise, literally. About to get a workout in. So yeah. As you guys walk on a little further, and finally the trees kind of open up, and the wall kind of crumbles off down into rubble. And there's a little opening. You can see scattered around this clearing. There are pieces of wall and doors and ceiling. But it's still
no
pretty
more magical
open.
darkness.
There is, yeah. The magical darkness opens up just in this clearing. As you step in, those of you with dark vision can now see clean across this clearing.
Well, we're at least out of the darkness.
Oh, I can see.
This is somehow worse. That means something made a clearing.
Ooh, that's.
Or maybe we're
In the
almost
middle
out.
of the clearing.
Would it make the clearing? What's? I'm curious. What's even producing this darkness?
hold on. Mr. DM was about to say something about the middle of the clearing.
In the middle of the clearing, those with dark vision would obviously be the only ones who can see it because it's out of range of everybody else. There is, on top of a branch, maybe like yay thick, there's this very immaculate orb with like this gold leafing all over it. You can't see the color because it's black and white, but it's you can see all of this patterning all over it, and these lines running along the flat surface beneath.
Mara, do you see that?
Yeah. There's a sparkly little orb.
Arlashna, is that it?
That's it. I mean,
you should go get that.
It's definitely the source of the issue. If you look, and she like points to the ground, all the roots are spreading out in like a spiraling circle.
That's fucked.
You should make sure that there's nothing guarding it.
Is anybody good at checking for traps?
I mean, I did it once, and it went okay.
She like gestures towards the clearing slightly.
What do you want me to do? Who was gonna set a trap? Did you set a trap?
Not here, no.
Then who would have set a trap? Why do I need to look for traps?
That's a valid point that you make.
I didn't mean look for traps. I meant look around in the other trees around or in the darkness to see if you can see something watching it.
You guys cannot see out of the clearing because it is just the wall of magical darkness.
I mean, if we want to peruse the darkness around it, then we can, but there's nothing in this room.
Right.
Would you all like to check the perimeter to feel a bit safer?
I just don't know how well that's going to work out for us, because, I mean, if it's hiding in there, it just moves when we come. We'll never see it.
Splitting up's an even worse idea.
I didn't think about splitting up, but...
I mean...
So I'll just go grab it then?
Yeah. Yeah, no problems. Yeah.
Arlashna.
Wait.
Walk. Yes?
If it's attached to the feywild and you touch it, will you go to the feywild?
It doesn't normally work like that, but a lot of things aren't working normally today. And the Feywild's already sort of here, so I don't know, to be honest with you.
It's the only thing to think about. All right, good luck.
Wait, you should probably take Inkdolis just kind of looks around. Mara's light quarterstaff. It has light on it, and just in case. You never know.
It would help the others see, yeah. That actually is not a bad idea.
Marame.
I'll give her the quarterstaff, and then I'll guidance on her. I believe in you, Arlashna.
Thank you. She takes like a really deep breath, and then she steps out into the clearing.
Should one of us go with her?
Doris,
I mean...
I can put you down and defend her, but something goes super wrong, then I'm fucked.
I mean, she can take care of herself.
It's maybe like 60 feet away.
You should still probably put me down, though.
Yeah. Doc puts her down and just... we can't let her go alone.
No,
No,
we
yes,
definitely
yes,
can.
we can. Yeah,
Yes,
100%
yes, we
she can go
definitely
alone. Sorry, Ashley. That I know that sounds rude and all, but you're like,
It's okay, I'm like
You-
immortal and you're not.
Yep, thanks.
And I understand. She like keeps walking. You guys can see her. She's got the rod, and so those of you without dark vision, you see that same like trunk with the orb on it. And as you're all waiting there with bated breath, Dolus, you're especially on edge because it's your nature. And Dolus, you notice something very key in that moment as she takes the last few steps up to it. Something that should have been so obvious as she's reaching for it. It's not silent anymore. There's all the sounds of wood creaking around you. Just the quiet sounds of a forest have suddenly resumed.
So I make this realization. I am going to yell out, "Stop!"
Freezes.
Do you all hear that?
You all do.
You know, now that you mention it, yeah, that's... Huh.
That's weird.
Can everybody make a perception check for me?
Sure.
With disadvantage?
I already have
no, actually, in this case.
Really?
I
Why
have
not?
disadvantage because I'm
But
wearing a
for a
mask.
reason.
Okay.
I
Well,
got
yeah, the birds have disadvantage.
I have got an 8.
I
4.
rolled bad.
I got 11.
I got a 19.
I also got a 19.
You, all of you, listening to the wood and everything and sort of glancing around, those of you who rolled higher than 15?
I think it was just
Everybody?
me and Pulse.
Yeah.
So, Twink, Mara, the two of you, following the sound more so than the sight, look down and see roots coming up around, like, your ankles, and you manage to step out of the way just in time before they... And all of the rest of you who failed that check are now restrained by the ankles.
Okay, just the ankles.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
that.
Arlashna too?
So no, nothing seems to be happening with Arlashna. All of you are just suddenly grabbed by the ankles.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
I'm gonna immediately cut it with my hatchet.
Make a strength check, or not a strength check. Make an attack. I apologize.
Make an attack.
an
19.
19 will hit.
Okay.
Roll for damage.
I'm also just gonna like spin
Yep.
my obsidian spear and just kind of like
Same thing.
Slash him with the hour.
Same thing.
Immediate violence. 18 plus 7.
5.
25.
25.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Lotus.
11.
11 points of damage. Doc.
No,
No, it's 11 to hit.
Oh, 11 to hit. Doesn't hit.
10.
Does the fact
Does the fact that it's at your feet give you advantage?
does the fact that I can attack 2 times per turn affect anything?
I mean, you're just trying to chip away at this, is what I'm imagining here.
10
10?
damage.
Okay. So each of you starts hacking at this, and Lotus, with the spear, you're really struggling to get the spearhead in a way that wouldn't also get your ankle. So you're not managing to make much work. Doc, you've got a slashing sword. You're just cutting away at this. You're even occasionally hitting your boot and like grazing it, but you're getting it off.
Mm.
And Dolus, you're slowly chipping away at it. Mara, Twink, you are both not locked up. Mara, you see all of the roots kind of just wriggling under the ground all around you.
I'm gonna look around. Is there anything that I can jump up on that isn't just ground, like a stone, like some type of stone that I can jump up on?
Further into the clearing, there are more patches of open ground, but out here, it's just there's thick roots and small roots like everywhere.
Get away from the roots! And I run.
We're in the roots!
Do I observe that, or do I notice that Lotus is struggling?
Yes, you would notice that Lotus is struggling.
Okay. I'm gonna rush over to her
Okay.
and just try and like pull at the
pull
the
at them.
roots to try and
Make
like.
a strength check with advantage,
Oh.
because Lotus is breaking at the ground all around them.
Yeah, I wasn't about to get down on my hands and knees and try to help when there's roots trying to grab me.
Thank God, advantage. Woo! Oh,
my God.
that didn't help.
A 0!
That didn't.
Yeah, Mara starts
nice-
ripping at these roots,
Nice 6.
and as he's ripping at them all, one of the roots, like, because he's down, one of the roots just grabs his neck.
Fuck.
Wait, so there's only one root at his neck?
Yeah, there's one
I'm
thicker
gonna
root
cut
that just
that root
wraps it.
immediately.
You
Oh Jesus.
make an attack roll.
You decapitate Mara.
That is 16.
That hits. So yeah, you just, I'll just say you just swing with all your might, and because of the way it's stretched at his neck, you just boom, and he breaks it.
Oh.
Am I at a point where I could probably yank my feet out?
You can yank your feet out now. Yeah,
What about me?
Dolus, you're gonna take a couple more seconds at least, unless somebody gives you a little bit of help.
I'm gonna take the seconds.
Doc's
Okay.
gonna take a solid. Ooh, do I want to do this? Yeah, Doc's gonna take a solid swipe at Dolus's to see if he can get him loose.
Just make an attack.
14.
14, you cut, and Dolus, as you're ripping, one of the bigger ones just gets cut, and you just, they come loose, and your
I'm
feet
gonna
are
flap
loose.
my wings so that I'm not touching the ground anymore.
Okay.
Doc is going to
I'm-
dive into the clearing.
I'm gonna pull out the
Dive
wet
toward.
torch,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell Mara, take the water off of this.
Shape water. And then I'm gonna kind of like just peek at the ground while I'm like just trying to step back away from all these roots.
Lotus, tinderbox.
Lotus has not been freed.
I mean, she's still.
She is still there. But yeah, so Lotus, as you're turning to her, I'm saying you see the roots are climbing up. They are getting to like knee height at this point.
Yeah. So I asked for her tinderbox.
Can I just shove?
Yeah,
my
you can
hand?
just grab it.
Okay,
Oh,
and I'm gonna
lovely.
light the torch,
It's easy enough to light the torch.
and I'm gonna bring the fire towards the roots climbing her legs.
Okay. Nothing happens as it gets close. Are you gonna full blown touch it?
I'm gonna touch it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you shove the torch up against these roots. Lotus, you do feel pain. You're gonna take just a point of fire damage as the torch is just pressed up against your leg. But the roots let go of that leg, and then Dolus does the same to the other, and they let go.
The moment she's free, she's gonna flap her wings and take flight.
Yeah, so the birds are hovering a few feet in the air now. The rest of you are all in the clearing. The roots aren't like stretching further into the clearing. They're all just sort of wriggling along the edges of the dark.
You.
I'm gonna go towards the patch of no roots that like
Mhm.
Twink ran towards, and I'm gonna tell Lotus to take Mara there as well because he's still like on the ground or whatever Mara's doing.
I was gonna grab him with my talons around the shoulders.
Basically, you could basically just grab him and toss him at the distance that it is. It's like really like 10, maybe 15 feet. So up in the air, it's a grab and like a pivot, and then you're dropping him. So Mara, you just kind of like on your feet. You're all standing in a patch that's maybe like 20 feet wide of no roots.
Arlashna,
Yeah.
why are there roots that move on their own and grab what?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
Oh, that's
Okay.
why all the weapons and the arrows were in the trees, because the trees are what killed the Lost.
No.
Maybe.
No.
No, because I know what killed the Lost.
Okay. Is it the trees?
I killed the Lost.
Okay.
What?
We can
Oh.
unpack that later. Can you kill the trees?
Maybe?
I'm not sure we want to do that.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Is it not? They seem to be attacking us.
It's a whole forest, though, so there's no fucking way we can kill all the trees.
Are we just gonna ignore the whole? What?
So grab the orb, get out.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
That seems like a grand idea. And Arlashna turns back and puts a hand on the orb. And the moment she does, there's a boom, and the orb just, like, all of the dust and weathering on it just vanishes, and it turns into this beautiful blue and gold. Just, it's like the size of a dodgeball.
Hell yeah.
Does it like glow to where we can all actually see the colors?
I'm gonna say she touches it and it pins out. And you all can see it is illuminating brighter than any of your magical lights at this moment. You can all see throughout the whole clearing now from the glow off of this thing.
Pretty.
And then she goes to pull it, and nothing happens. It's stuck.
Do you need some help?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Doc.
Fucking Doc pulls a shield this time.
You pull the shield and you summon the hour and you go walking up, but like as you're walking up, maybe a few feet behind Arlashna, the like trunk kind of, you get a different angle than Arlashna has, and you notice that the way the orb is sitting on it, it's not just sitting on the top, it's like resting in this like little basket sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it takes you a moment. It's like it's resting in the palm of a hand.
Arlashna?
And just as you realize and say Arlashna's name, out of the ground, it rises up a whole arm. And then shrugging off the dirt, shoulders, and this big winged helmet, not unlike Petrin's, but large and ornamented all over. And Arlashna is just backing up slowly.
Arlashna, did we just... Go ahead, Ian.
Is that one of the statues?
No.
Is that one of the lost?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is it holding one of the most powerful artifacts in all of history?
And it opens its eyes, and they're these big, beaming whites. As the rest of it rises out of the ground, easily 13, 14 feet tall. Just this gigantic, armored woman in just this gorgeous but worn and weathered chainmail with roots and vines all over her.
You'll think she's one for conversation.
Does she look like a tree?
She does not look like a tree.
Damn it.
Oh, she's not a tree?
She doesn't look like a tree. No, there's wood all over her. There are like vines and branches grown into and out of her armor.
I definitely said hello.
Yeah, you did. There's just kind of silence.
Yeah, can you talk to her? Maybe?
I don't think we'll get along, all things considered.
Oh, that's a good point.
Remember when I said we probably should talk about it?
Yeah.
Is this a giant?
It seems to be giant.
Okay.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
It's a nice orb you've got there. Would you mind parting with it?
Twists its hand and looks at the orb. And then just kind of looks deadpan at all of you again.
Please.
Pretty please?
We'll leave you alone.
Twink, are you gonna try what I think you're gonna try?
I am, yeah.
Go for it.
I'm gonna say, you look pretty tired there, but in giant.
The thing's eyes like squint and turn to you, and even Arlashna is like, "You speak giant?"
Speaks what?
Big.
Twink,
It's a language?
Big reverberating voice kind of fills the whole clearing. None of you understand what's being said, but there's just this rumble, this low. It sounds almost like a sad song, like a deep sort of bassy sad song coming from this creature. And it's just, Twink, you would understand this. It's been so long since I heard words from my father's tongue. Who are you?
Sorry? I'm Twink Tenseeker.
Why do you come with her? The eyes like squint at Arlashna.
Yeah, no, I've heard you've got some problems with her.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't care about that. However, I understand why you don't like her.
What do you seek?
The thing in your hand. And
The
also
weapon?
Ted. Weapon? Is it what? I'll stop for a second. I go back to Arlashna. Is that a fucking weapon?
Not in the traditional sense, no.
Were you using it like a fucking? Were you channeling spells through that?
It's like all of the power of the feywild concentrated into an orb, and I was a god of war.
No honor. I go back to giant. Yes, a weapon. However, we don't want to use it as a weapon.
How do you seek to use it?
Well, I just want to use it to communicate.
You communicate through words.
But not over long distances.
Why do you need this?
If I don't get it, we'll all die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Another sad, long war brought about by Av. Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't care. I just don't want to die.
Twink. The silence kind of stretches back in and all the roots sort of calm down for a second. Make a persuasion check.
Fuck.
Please roll well. Don't like that face.
That's a 7.
I shall have you undergo the trial.
Can I ask what it is before I agree?
You wouldn't like it if I told you.
I'm not gonna like it if you don't tell me, so you may as well tell me.
She like stretches her arm out and turns the orb upside down, kind of holding it all above you. It's almost like a street lamp the way it's glowing down at you all.
Disco ball.
And the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter until you are illuminated in like a spotlight beam coming from this orb. And then suddenly everything just goes so bright none of you can see. It's all just white and empty. And then
Like we can't see each other either?
can't see anything. Just
Okay, cool.
incredibly bright.
Okay.
Can you all roll? Oh, what?
Can I preface that when the giant came up, Lotus just kind of like grabs Dolus's hand because she's scared.
Aww. Can all of you roll 20s for me and tell me what you get?
Sure.
I'll ask you what you get. You don't have to just say.
Okay.
Get a 20.
Not that it means it's good or anything, but
Yeah.
it's nice to see. After the 7, it's real nice to see.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna I'm gonna 15 to 20. Ian got a 20. No, what'd you get?
Wait,
19.
19.
what did you ask us to roll?
Just a
Just
20.
just a D20.
Oh, my bad.
Dolus, what'd you roll?
15.
I also rolled a 15.
Okay. 1 sec. Let me check a thing. Okay.
Fuck.
This.
All right, next 15 to 0.
And then I know who. Yeah, 15 to 0. What'd you roll, Ray? Share your number with the class.
Oh,
We got a 20 and a 1 on the same roll. Loja, look at that. What are the odds?
Wow.
Roughly, well,
That's multiplicative,
Don't-
so
yeah.
let's not do that. So yeah, you all have determined the order for me. This is great.
the order?
The light kind of starts to die out and twink. You're standing in your workshop in the guild,
Nice.
back in Altairi.
Nice. What the fuck is going on?
The forge is going and everything. All the regular sounds are happening. You're like, what the fuck is going on? You hear, I was not napping. And Fairmont's like shuffling himself up.
Ah,
At the
you
desk
cheeky
across from you.
fuck.
Okay.
Even
I
in my
was
dreams,
napping.
You're fucking sleeping on the job.
In your what?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
He like organizes a bunch of stuff and he's like, it's a big day.
What day is it?
We have to present the modifications on the robot to Martin today. For his vault.
I really thought you were gonna do that. I don't want to go.
You never want to go.
I know. I fucking hate people.
You always make me go alone.
I hate people. What part of that don't you get?
You think I like him?
Well, you don't do any work, so I figured that's what you wanted to do.
I do a lot more than you. You don't want to do the paperwork to keep this guild running. I know, I've tried to pawn it off on you many times.
Yeah, and then it didn't get done, and we almost all got kicked out.
I don't know if we don't make Martin happy, we might get kicked out anyway.
Well, have fun with that. I promise he'll like it.
Gets up, grabs a bunch of notes off of a desk.
Wait, what the fuck? What am I doing? Why am I here?
What do you mean?
Nothing.
You alright?
Nope.
Do you need to go home?
Hermon, you know I fucking live here.
Fair enough. And he just walks out the door. Left alone.
What the fuck am I doing here?
There's all of your typical tools all around you. Laying there on one of these tabletops is something very recently familiar to you because you were just working on it this morning. It is a prototype for a flamethrower attachment for the robots. It's still using a canister of oil like you originally thought.
This why I'm here? I investigated.
It's exactly as you remembered it. All those bronzes and copper, the iron barrel. You came up with a very ingenious method to having a screw top bottle that just screws the oil into a slot.
Can't believe someone thought of something better. Keep looking around the room because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here.
Okay, yeah, it's the forge is burning. There are tools all over the walls. There are swords and hammers. You have all of your various things you've made. binoculars, telescopes, all kinds of small trinkets.
Why was I brought here? Gotta be something.
And then at the desk nearby, you hear just, I wasn't sleeping.
What? You just fucking left?
What?
What the fuck is this? What is happening?
Okay, I was sleeping, but I have no excuses. Fairmont gets up out of his chair.
You didn't just leave?
No. We do need to go, though. There's the presentation with Martin, the modifications we made to those robots. For his vault?
Yeah, I told you I didn't want to go to that.
Look, I know you don't want to go to those things, but you always make me go to those things alone.
Yeah, because you don't do anything else.
I do more work than you know around here.
Wait a minute. No, stop. We've done this already.
And yeah, we have this conversation a lot. Look, all right, I'll go handle it myself. Gets up and he grabs all his papers.
All right, no, wait. I'll go with you.
Oh. Okay.
Don't seem happy about it. One-time thing. Never again.
All right, fine.
I mean, it never happened in the first place, but...
Don't gotta be so rude about it. What?
Huh?
He just opens the door, and you walk out after him. You walk out, and you blink. And at the desk nearby, Fairmont just... I wasn't sleeping.
What am I supposed to do?
Doc. The bright white light starts to fade.
Mm-hmm.
And you're expecting the sounds of the forest or people freaking out, or you have your shield arm up like you're about to take a blow from a giant woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the light fades out. And you're on a walkway on floor 12, heading home from the barracks. Nice home. There's no shield on your arm. There's no sword on your hip. You're in your same clothes as before you started your journey, not burnt or fucked up.
Doc kind of takes a second, like legitimately, you take just like Twink, it's just like that second of just like, what the fuck? What? Guys?
There's no one around you. There's all of the clinking and tinking of metal and machinery keeping the city running all around you. You look around. You're on a walkway from the center atrium, like outwards. You look over the railing and you see the typical pit going hundreds of floors down and steam rising up all around you.
Okay, Hick, are you even... Wait, where? Time?
You say time, and suddenly all of the sounds stop all around you.
Oh, God.
Yeah?
Oh.
The guy just next to you.
Does he look like anyone I know? Just a dude?
He looks like you.
Oh, great.
What's this? What do you got going on?
What do you mean? I thought you did this.
You thought I did this? Why would I do this?
Because I'm home.
Well, yeah. You are home.
I shouldn't be home.
Oh.
I was just in a forest. Did you put me somewhere I shouldn't have been? Wait, what the fuck?
I don't know how to put you anyplace.
Just
I think you're in all of the places.
I need out. I need to be back where I was. I was in front of a giant with an orb, and I need to get back there because she just sent us. She sent me home, and I'm not allowed home anymore.
Giant with the orb. I'll try and find that for you. I'll try and put you back there. Would that help?
Yeah.
Awesome. And like he just claps, and the steam starts back, and he's gone.
I had so many more questions, but I guess you know what? Another time. Oh, that's not funny. Like Doc is talking to himself at this point. Okay, how far am I from home then? Like home, like apartment?
You'd have to go down another couple staircases, but it's faster this way than taking the elevator.
Okay. And there's pretty much nobody else around me. That everyone's doing their
No
own
one you
thing.
can see, no.
Fuck it, let's go home.
Okay, you follow the way. You do eventually pass a couple of other people who they do a typical like wave, who just say hi, Doc. So you go by, really casual. No one seems perturbed at your existence here.
Yeah. Can I look at my hands? The back of my hands?
Yeah. There is a tattoo.
Okay. Interesting. Keep walking home, trying to, if there's anybody I recognize proper, but if not, then
I mean, you recognize lots of neighbors, nobody who you're particularly close with.
yeah.
You eventually go down one more thin thing of metal stairs, tink, tink, tink on your boots all the way down. There's that hatch that opens up into your family's home. You crank the wheel and open it up. And there's Hickory sitting on one of the like couches. And she's just like, Doc,
Yeah.
God, I knew you were gonna do something stupid like this.
What do you mean?
What do you know what I mean. You're going
Okay,
after those stupid bandits.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that they don't want you to. You know Katarina doesn't want you to.
Yeah, but somebody's got to do something about that. Those bots are insane.
Which is why you shouldn't go do it alone.
What are you going to do? Come with me? Tell Dad?
Maybe I will tell Dad.
You wouldn't tell Dad.
I wouldn't. Look, I want to help, okay? Let me help. Let someone help you. You don't always have to be the hero. We can be heroes together. And she like nudges you.
He kind of offers up his fist to her.
Fist bumps you. As you fist bump, you notice she doesn't have a tattoo on the back of her hand.
He also pauses for a second because it's been the first time in a couple days, at least, almost a week, to where he's actually been able to interact with his sister at all.
Yeah. Doc, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I don't think I have yet.
Let's see. Mara.
Oh boy.
A light fades. And you are greeted with something you do not expect. You are surrounded by burning walls. You are in a burning cabin.
Whoa!
You're in Kana's cabin, and everything's on fire.
Oh god. Okay. Looking for doorways.
You try to take a step, and your foot hits something, and you look down, and it's Kana laying there, burnt and stabbed on the ground.
Oh. I don't like this. Ooh. I need. I'm uncomfortable. I need to get out of here.
Mara, you struggle a bit in your panicked state, and then you remember how you got out the first time. You remember that there's a window on a wall that's not burning in the back. And you run to it, you just sort of break it and jump out. You're out on the grass, all the smoke billowing behind you.
I didn't want to relive that. I'm gonna pick myself up and just look around me.
Okay. You pick yourself up, and it's that same night from all those years ago. It's quiet. The most crazy thing going on around you is the burning cabin behind you. And you make out a familiar sight in the distance. A carriage drawing away, still within view, but leaving. The horse and cart. The one that you all used to take into town together, but only one person on it.
I'll run towards it.
You run towards it. You think back on the first time you'd ever seen it. All that time ago. And how you had sat there scared and crying and ran into the woods. But this time you run after that cart. You chase it. And I mean, it's a cart, so it's pulling away from you.
How far is it? Like, just super far?
It's gonna be like a quarter of a mile away. Far down. It's a ways down the hill. You'd have to be pretty fast to catch up to it.
All right. I think my first instinct would be to wild shape into a horse.
Hell yeah. Yeah. You wild shape into a horse, you start sprinting down the hill at it. And sure enough, sitting there in the front is Drayden with just bags of stuff behind him that he had taken. And he turns back, he sees a horse gaining on him. You watch him whip the cart. I would like you to make a dex check.
$17.
All right. You manage to keep up. You are making chase. It is beginning down the windy, hilly roads. Dolus.
Hi.
Hello. The light dims for you. And you are standing there in that pathway home that you remember, that you used to always walk alone, hoping to avoid other people.
Is Lotus still holding my hand?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You look around, sort of panicked, looking for her for a second. And you turn back up the road, and do you see her? Like way up the road. Little Lotus. Smaller than she was a moment ago.
So as I were to go check to see if Lotus was holding my hand, do I see the state of my hand?
You go to check your hand. Your hand is as you would have expected your hand to be.
Green.
Green. And clawed.
I look up and I see her, and I'm gonna yell out, Lotus.
And she jumps up and she does her little wave at you.
I wave with my other hand. I kind of put my clawed hand in my pocket.
And then you notice some, not kids necessarily, but older than Lotus and younger than you, sort of coming up. Other Aarakocra start nudging her.
Do I recognize these kids?
You do.
I'm gonna immediately sprint up.
Okay. You are sprinting up for them. Then, as you're clearing the distance, a couple of them start like hitting Lotus. Like they're clearly like physically bullying her.
As I run up, I'm going to kick one of the kids.
All right. Yeah. You run up. You kick that kid. It's easy. He wasn't expecting it. He kind of goes sprawling a bit. And he gets up and he's like, ah!
I'm going to do the equivalent of what I would do for a menacing attack. I'm going to look down at him. What do you think you're doing to my sister?
God, you're both freaks!
I'm going to grab him by the collar and attempt to, like, hold him up.
Easy enough. You're bigger now than you were back then.
I'm going to, like, pull him close. Don't you dare ever touch her again. Do you understand me?
Kind of looks at you. He pecks your forearm. His beak really hard. Your freak face doesn't scare me.
Can I grab his beak with my clawed hand?
Yes, you can. As you grab the beak with the clawed hand, there is the drain of vampiric touch without meaning to. And this kid just starts shuddering in your grasp. And you watch him sort of like decay and age in front of you.
I'll drop him before, like, killing him.
Before he can hit the ground. You're standing there on that corner, walking the way you would home, hoping to avoid people.
Turn around. Do I see?
Lotus there, walking towards you.
Oh, what? Kind of just scrunch my brow line. I'll look up to her. How far away are the kids? Do I see the kids who are about to come bully her?
Yeah, they're like 25 feet away or so.
From her?
Yeah, they're like walking up to her now.
I'll signal her to come to me and just yell, "Run! Come here!"
Little Lotus just kind of like what? She turns, sees them, and then she just starts running at you. They start chasing.
Does she make it to me before
She
they
does.
get to her?
Yeah.
I'll grab her hand and start running with her.
They're running up to you both now. You're running. I'm gonna Lotus. The light kind of dies out. And you're in Raiden's cabin. He's shuffling you really quickly towards a back door.
Brayden?
Yes, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. Just you. I need the both of you to stay in the woods until I figure this out. All right? Just hide. If I don't get things sorted, I will get things sorted, and I'll be out in no time at all.
You're lying to me.
I would never.
You're lying.
Dolus, take your sister, hide her in the woods. I'll come for you if I'm not back by morning. Go to Port Shore.
If I look to the side, do I see Dolus?
There's Dolus there. Wear your masks. Stay safe. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Just a brief talk.
What's
Just
the
as he
meaning?
mentions a brief talk, he summons his claymore in his hand.
No, we can help you.
Don't worry, Lotus. It's fine.
It won't be. We won't see you again in very long.
He turns the sword around and he like stabs it into the ground and he gets down, he cups your face. Don't worry. You don't have to see me for me to be here. Besides, like I said, quick talk. I'll come back in, light the fire up for you. We'll make stew.
Okay.
Dolus is like pulling at you to get you to come along. You both go out the back door. You hear a bunch of people shouting and banging on the front door. And you run to this little crook nearby behind some like hay bales. Good solid couple 100 feet away from the house on the hill. You turn back and you see the windows light up as a fire starts inside. You can see the shadows of a fight happening inside. And Dolus is comforting you and telling you to cover your ears and pulling you out into the woods. And then you're inside in the living room. And Raiden is rushing you out towards the back door.
What?
It's alright, I'm just gonna take you out the back, both of you. Just hide. Everything will be fine.
We're not leaving.
Lotus, I can't have you here for this. I need you. Go, you'll be safe.
You're gonna leave us.
I would never leave you.
You're lying.
Dolus, I need you to take care of you. Like, he turns, starts talking to Dolus again.
If Dolus grabs me, I'm just gonna push him away with both hands.
You can push Dolus off.
We're staying, and we're going to help you, because we won't see you again if we leave.
It's not gonna be that bad. You'll see me. I swear.
It won't be 20 minutes. It won't be half a year from now. We won't see you in so long.
What are you talking about, Lotus? It's fine. It'll just be a quick talk.
It's not fine.
He gets down on the knee again. I need you to do this for me.
And then not see you again? We left and we didn't see you ever again.
If it means that you're safe.
I don't care if I'm safe, I just want to be with both of you. You told us that you would bring us to Yubawa.
Didn't I? It's a really lovely valley there. We can go tomorrow. First thing, pack everything and leave.
Lotus, brushes the tears away from her face. We'll stay and fight. I'm not taking no for an answer.
Everything sort of fades to a really, really bright white. Twink. Fairmont wakes up at the desk. Ah, fuck, I wasn't asleep. You have been in this loop for dozens of iterations at least. You have tried leaving, you have tried staying, you have tried hitting Fairmont.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm definitely attacking him at least once.
Yeah, I'm like, you have
That's
you have
100%
gone
happening.
full feral, summoned the gauntlets, and just started pummeling him. Twig, what's wrong? You okay?
No!
That's the face that you give me when I tell you that I'm putting together a new astrolabe that's going to set things on fire.
Because you make me do that!
And it turns out fabulously.
I don't care anymore.
Twig, is it getting to you? All of this?
You have no idea.
I know what it's like to give up all you know and come to the capital and build things. I know that you're not particularly a big fan of what we're doing for Martin and the Hold Masters, but make the world a better place. Today it's mechs, and tomorrow it's what's that thingy that you want to launch people into the sky?
Are you talking about my rocket?
Yeah, that thing.
I forgot about the rocket.
Don't forget about the rocket. And he like gives you a nudge. Here, I'll do the meeting for Martin. You stay and
No, don't leave. Don't leave. If you leave, it starts over.
I don't know what that means.
Don't leave.
Do you want to have a drink and play cards?
I don't, but let's do that.
Okay. You sit down. He picks the flamethrower up and he puts it away. He sits down, pulls up a chair, and sits. And he gestures to the chair opposite you. Go.
I hop in it.
You hop in it, and as you hop in, Fairmont wakes up at the desk nearby and just, I wasn't asleep.
Fuck!
Doc.
Yeah.
You just fist bumped your sister.
Yeah.
And then behind you just hear, good to see you two getting along. You turn.
Dad?
It's your dad.
Dad.
Doc, I didn't expect to see you home so early. Yeah. Come on.
I didn't expect to see you home early either.
It's my day off.
Right. Hick and
You
I
doing
are...
okay?
Yeah. Just a weird day.
Hank like nudges you. We're gonna go to floor 23, spend some time with some friends. "23, huh?
Yeah.
That's where that Elsa Rai girl is, isn't it?"
Yeah, Dad.
Hick, don't tease your brother. Doc? You're stuck in a hole in the ground. Just ask the girl out.
Yeah, Dad. Yeah.
Alright. I get that there's no sun down here, but that doesn't mean we day out too late, right?
Yeah, Dad.
Okay.
And
Madam President is, apparently there's something going on, bandits, da-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna have to go to a meeting when dinner would be going on tonight, so it'll just be you and your mother.
okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright. Walks past you into the rest of the house.
Right before he walks fully out, Doc is he's gonna grab him and like
He's like walking past you, and you just bear hug him all of a sudden. He's just, oh. Hey. Okay. You got big these last 2 years? 3 years? How long have you been in the Knights?
a minute now. I'm sure that Aldrich is making plenty fun of the way that my form is every time you send him to watch me.
Aldrich would never tease you.
Not in front of you, Dad. Not in front of you.
Aldrich is good people, as little of a people as he is. Be nice to him. He might be yours one day. And he just walks past the rest of the way into the kitchen.
That kind of looks at Hickory, nods to head out
Let's
the
go.
door.
You guys head out the door. And there are the stairs and the railings and everything. Just, all right. Up and out.
Yeah, but Hick, I'm gonna say something crazy,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that it's just crazy enough to work.
Okay.
I'm gonna try, and before I say anything, I want to try and reach out to the Hickory in my head if I can.
No answer.
Doc kind of tilts his head and he's like, "This already happened.
Okay.
We go after these bots. I know. This should be easy because they don't work. You know, they aren't finished, but they are. They're finished, and the second we pull up, they're gonna fuck us up.
Okay.
They're gonna blow a hole in my heart and a hole in my side. And Dad's gonna show up. He's gonna die."
Doc, that sounds crazy, right? You know that, right? I'm
Yeah.
just pointing it out. I just want to, you know.
I know. Let's call it a message from the Lord above.
You
I've
know,
seen
I don't
this.
like when you tease me about the whole nunnery thing. Cleric,
I have-
not a nun.
Hick, I have a bad feeling.
We don't have to go. You're the one who practically talked me into it.
If we're gonna go, we can't leave a scrap of those robots left, because what they become is way worse.
Sounds like a plan. She just holds her fist out again.
Guess it is.
Fist bump her, and you turn to go up the stairs to, like she said, up and out. And you take a step, and you're back on a walkway,
Damn it!
all alone, surrounded by steam.
Okay.
Mara, you are chasing Drayden, and you are catching up. And he turns back, and he summons this huge orb of fire above his hands. You hear him shout back to you, just, "I didn't want to kill 2 elves tonight!"
Interesting. All right.
Just give up, weakling, and I'll leave you.
I am gonna jump onto the wagon.
Make a dex check.
Yeah. 6.
You try to jump onto the wagon, and he throws that fireball at you, and you just crash through it. You take 10 points of fire damage, and you come stumbling out, struggling to keep up.
Am I on the wagon though?
You are not on the wagon, you're still running behind it.
Oh, Jesus. All right. I will, I'm gonna change back and immediately tidal wave.
You change back, and Drayden has a moment as he watches you shifting back, like mid-motion, and he's just like, ha 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 ha. And then as you come back, you bring your hands down the way you always do, and a huge rush of water slams into the cart, topples him clean out of it, sends the cart and the horse off the side of the road.
I'm gonna run up to the cart.
And he's like getting up and he's like, when did you learn that?
And as soon as I'm in reach, thorn whip him closer to me.
Thorn whip him. You pull him close.
I'll wrap it around his neck now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're just choking Drayden.
Yeah.
Start choking him, holding him, and he's just like...
That feels good, doesn't it?
Like, tries to tap your face. And as he's patting your face, everything fades to a white.
Oh.
Dolus. You've done a loop a couple times. You tried to get her to run. You've tried to get her to fly. You fought the kids. You've tried to talk to the kids. You've this, you've that.
On this next iteration, I have a thing I want to try.
Okay.
I respawn again.
Yep.
And I'm going to bottled respite. I'm going to go into the ring.
You bottled respite, and you just... You're in Kylie's little cylinder.
Is it like how it used to be, like with furniture
Yeah.
and everything? Kylie!
You're not the usual one who has the ring.
Yes, no, I'm not. I'm me from the future. I'm reliving a memory. I don't have time to explain. What would be the best way to get out of this? Ghost creature, I'm from the future, from when I appreciate you more. That's something you have to look forward to. Listen, how can I get out of this? If you were trapped in a memory, what would you do?
What's the thing you wish you could do the most in that memory? Or something different, or something you should do?
Well, my preferred memory was Lotus not getting attacked by small children. Well, they're not small children. They're small compared to me, but...
But not what you wish had happened differently. What you could do different.
I don't know. I don't have much time. It's going to loop again.
Just think, in that moment when you saw her there, crying and sad, you'd struck down a child. What's the one thing you should have said that you didn't? It's good to see you, little bird. And she pecks you on the forehead, and Kylie's gone.
I'll jump back out of the ring.
You jump back out of the ring, and Lotus is in the process of being bullied.
Okay, I'm just gonna, wave my hand. I guess I'll reset it once again. I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast the kids.
You Eldritch... You take the ring, and just like you did originally, but you don't have to put the ring on this time, you Eldritch Blast the first kid. The second turns to you in shock, and you Eldritch Blast him. You remember how enraged you were the first time, but this time it's just cold. It's just you're running through the script. You Eldritch Blast the third one. They're all just laying there, very hurt. Lotus is in a ball there crying, and you remember the first time you had picked her up and rushed her home while everyone was rushing to help the kids. And the kid on the floor was just like, "You freaks!"
Yes, freaks. And I'm gonna pick her up and do the same thing again, trying to just relive it and re-loop it.
You go to pick her up, and you pick her up, and you just start walking home with her crying there. And you reset, you're standing on that corner.
Immediately turn around and start running towards her.
Okay. You reset, and you're on the corner there.
Do I have, my stuff with me? Wait, I can't run towards her? I start running towards her, and
You
I
start
reset?
running towards her, and you reset.
Okay. So I just kind of stop, and I look back. I turn back around, and I start thinking, what did I want to do differently? Oh, I mean, I guess I had some time there. All right, I'm gonna turn back around. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the kids again.
Again, really casually, just blast all 3 of these kids.
I'm gonna make myself look really cool while I do it. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
gonna add some
You do, like,
pizzazz.
poses, pizzazz, you're doing, like, the full warlock, like, ah!
YouTube, we do not encourage violence
no.
against children.
Yeah.
We're calling them kids, but they're like
They're late teens.
Little
Yeah.
douchebags,
Yeah.
at least.
You blast all 3 of them away. Lotus is in the ball crying. One of them just freaks.
Yes, we are. And I'm gonna turn back to Lotus, and I'm gonna crouch down next to her, and I'm gonna pull her into a hug. I'm gonna tell her, like, in her ear, "Don't worry, I'll always protect you. I'll always be here."
Are we freaks?
No, it's just easier to tell them that.
And everything slowly fades to white as you hold your sister. Twink! Fairmont wakes up at his desk. Just, I wasn't sleeping.
I hate it here.
What happened? I was awake. I swear. Twink, are you okay?
No.
Like, I know it can be a lot, leaving everything you know and coming to the capital to do this kind of work. We're gonna do great things here. Right now, we just have to do this for Martin and a few things here and there, but we'll make the world a better place.
You keep saying that.
What, that we have to do this for Martin? Yeah, he kind of funds the whole guild. I mean, not him directly. I guess taxpayers fund the whole guild, but he decides how much our budget is, so...
Yeah, but it seems like... This is gonna sound crazy.
Uh-huh.
It seems like no matter what I say, you always say we're gonna make the world a better place.
I mean, we will. Just right now we have to do the... He, like, looks around at all the weapons and the flamethrower, and he's like, the dirty work first.
Do we, though?
What do you mean?
Well, like, what if I did this instead, and I hop down and go to the arm, and I start erasing the runes off the side that I put in it?
What are you doing? What are you doing? That was all of the materials for that and the stone dust. Oh gosh.
I start rummaging through all the scrolls that we have.
Twink,
out.
I get it, you're stressed.
I pull 2 out, I roll over, I start marking runes on the side of the arm again.
Twink, what are you doing? What are you doing, Twink?
I hold the arm out to him and I say, but what if it did this instead? And I infuse it with magic and it begins spraying water at him.
He's just, stop.
I mean, it's simple. It's gust of wind and create water. It's like 2 easiest fucking magical spells ever.
That is pretty easy. We'll need a lot of spell scrolls if we want to do all of them up like that. It is a lot more fun than spraying fire.
And it also is helpful. It helps people.
We could make crops grow.
We could have... Okay, so we could literally create them and prevent fires in homes. The task force.
Instead of fighting with fire, we fight fires.
Yes.
I have to go present the cannon and the modifications to Martin for his vault.
Yeah, but like, why? Why does he need it?
I don't know. I mean, you know, defending his stupid relic disc thing.
It would be really funny if I put self-destruct buttons in it, wouldn't it?
Do that. You know, Twink, I think you're right. I don't need to do the dirty work. I've been wanting to move to Yubawa anyways. Fuck it. He gets up.
I literally go. What?
What? I didn't sign up to make weapons of mass destruction. I signed up to make sundial. That was a long time ago.
Sundials?
Yeah. I wanted them to get fun and scientific. I wanted them to be down to the second.
Sundials.
I was even thinking of one that would chime at certain times. Could, like, wake you up. Like a clock, but sun-powered, right?
Sundials. Paramount, they only work when the sun's out.
I know, but isn't that the beauty of it? You wouldn't have to worry about being disturbed as the two of you were going back and forth with this shouting. Everything fades to white. Doc,
Yeah.
you are walking down the stairs to your home.
And this is only my second loop.
You've probably looped a few times, talked to Hick a few times, been sad about your dad. You probably tried to tell your dad about the future, and he probably was not having it.
Have I tried going alone?
Probably.
Okay. So I'm going down the stairs. Get back to the hatch. And stop. I'm gonna knock.
You knock.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock, open the hatch, like, you know, fucking just, I'm going home.
You go in. Yeah, you go in. Hick's on the couch. You wakes up. Doc! You do something stupid like this.
You're right. It's dumb.
What?
We'd be risking life and limb to do it. I'm sure that Dad will make the right choice and bring more men or something like that.
What'd you do with my brother?
Good question. I don't know. I think being the hero just isn't the right move on this one.
That's way more mature for you than is normal. Are you okay? Are you sick? I can fix that. I learned how to fix that. And her hands like glow.
It's fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
I think we should wait for Dad. Maybe go hang out with Elsie.
You know she's never gonna like you if you don't tell her you like her, right?
I'll get there, okay?
Okay, maybe. Maybe you will. And she like gets up, goes over to like change, and then in the doorway you're just here. Look at you two getting along.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Doc. You okay?
Yeah. Hick and I are gonna go hang out with Elsie on floor 23.
Okay. Elsie. Oh, right. You know, you live in a hole in the ground. You should really just ask the girl out.
I know.
All right, well, I have a meeting with Madam President tonight, so I'll be late for dinner, and the whole spiel happens.
Yeah, Dad, just to be safe.
Hmm?
Do we know if those bots are working yet?
I don't know, that's out of my purview, but, yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Do you think
Probably with the meeting.
Do you think you could convince her to bring more men than you think you need?
I think we can take as many as we need. But if it makes you more comfortable, I can bring you and your sister along when we do it too. It'll be good. Field experience, especially with whole squads.
I think that'd be nice.
Good to not go it alone, and he like pokes you on the chest.
Yeah.
You got to get used to teamwork if Aldrich is going to be yours one day. Otherwise, I might give him to your sister.
I think he might like it more.
Oh, come on, you always used to talk about how much you wanted the owl.
Yeah. Got an attitude, though.
What? I mean, he's older than all of us, so that makes sense.
I think with the proper strategy and a proper team, everything's going to be okay.
Good job, kid.
Can't take over captain if I don't learn from the best.
Can't take over captain till I'm dead. Walks off. Or until I retire.
Yeah, old man.
Hickory's like all dressed up now. Just no armor. Her nice cleric frocks and stuff. Elsie?
Hick. Yeah. I'm sure Dad can handle it.
Worry about it after dinner. And she goes out the door. You follow and everything fades to white. The light slowly starts to fade back. All of you standing in your spots in the clearing. You're all sort of reeling. All of you feel a little nauseous.
I felt like I was there forever.
How many times did you go?
Hundreds!
I went like
Lotus.
5.
Lotus wipes the
Wait.
tears from her eyes, turns to Dolus, and just gives him a hug.
Dolus hugs her tighter. Just to himself, just probably could have found a non-violent option, but it worked. He starts just petting her head.
Mara, you're like,
What do you guys
mean there forever?
yeah, what do you guys mean there forever?
Hick or Doc does a quick check. Just Hick,
Yeah.
you get that?
Getting it now.
Weird.
You all take in your surroundings as you blink all this off, and you realize the clearing is bright. It's sunny. There's a sky above you. A twilight sky, but a sky. As the sounds kind of come back in, you hear the sounds of combat, like out in the trees all around you. And then from the side of the clearing, a woman just gets smashed clean through a bunch of the wood and comes tumbling out into the middle of the clearing.
Hello.
Oh.
Stands up and she grabs her helmet. It's all cracked and bent. She throws it off. And it's Arlashna.
Oh, hello, Arlashna.
Arlashna?
She turns her swords towards all of you.
Okay.
Wrong
This is
Arlashna!
Awful. Hello, Awful.
Who are you?
What?
Probably from the future.
We're friends from the future. We've come to tell you to put down your swords. This is not the correct path for you.
Behind all of you, you just hear, she won't listen.
Okay.
You turn back and Arlashna, as you know her, is just kind of sitting there.
Look, it's you from the future. Come to tell you to put down your swords.
Turns into a dagger and throws it at other Arlashna, like your Arlashna, who's just like, bink, like sends it off. No, I tried that.
This doesn't make sense. When I was going through mine, I was me. Why are you here?
This isn't a trial. This is
what?
a punishment.
Oh,
Out of the
yeah.
trees where Arlashna came, just one of those trees gets completely uprooted, and it's that giant woman in that Valkyrie-esque armor, but none of the wood or vines or anything. She just drops the tree
Oh,
and
hello.
holds up a huge lance.
Nice to see you again.
Calling in reinforcements like a coward.
Oh, we're not reinforcements.
We're friendly.
We're from the future.
What?
You should
We've
probably
come
stop
to
telling
stop.
people that.
Okay. What else am I supposed to tell them? That we're reinforcements?
I feel that excuse only works for me, Dolus.
What?
So what's happening here?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Arlashna's like, give it a second. They'll do their thing. They forget that we're here. And then, sure enough, as she says that, Oval lunges at this giant, and the two of them start fighting. And then there's tussling. You guys are in awe of how fast Oval is. She attacks faster than Lotus does.
God
But
damn.
then finally, the big one gets her by the upper chest and just slams her into the ground. Right in the middle of the clearing. And there's a moment of quiet, and Arlashna proper behind you just goes, and she speaks, and as she speaks, Oval says the same thing at the same time, just, I've made mistakes. Like, they're echoing each other, like Arlashna's, like, dead to this, like she's just clearly been here, done that kind of thing. I've made mistakes, and I'm sorry. Maybe we can change things. And then the woman above her is just, this will change things. And she raises her lance up. And just as she goes to strike it down, Arlashna's sword turns into a spear just right through her helmet. And the giant woman falls over. And then you're all just in a clearing with Arlashna and the sounds of battle around you.
So what have you tried to do?
Tried talking to Oval, tried talking to the big lady, tried setting the forest on fire, tried leaving, tried digging a hole.
What is it that you wish you could have done? I talked to Kaeli when I was in my memory, and she told me that was the solution.
You talk to Kylie?
Oh, yes. No, I talked to Kaeli.
Talk to Raiden.
You talked to Raiden?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It doesn't matter what I wished I had done. I did this. And right as she says that, Oval gets smashed through the trees and rolls out into the middle of the clearing.
Hi.
Hello.
Who are you? Like, the whole exchange happened.
We don't have to do this every time.
Reinforcements.
Oh,
You're what?
no.
Shut up.
Big lady comes through the trees. Coward, reinforcements line, points her lance at all of you.
Doc covers Dolus's mouth.
I'm gonna slap his hand away. I'm gonna look towards the two of them who are about to square down, and I'm gonna try and snap my fingers and slow them.
Oh boy.
I don't know about this,
I'm not sure about this one, Chief.
because I think we could still die.
They fail. So
They both
they both failed. So they just.
Okay, Arlashna, you have more time now. What would you like to do?
I had all the time in the world. It keeps happening over and over again.
Well, now you have more time in this specific loop.
And she gets up. She walks past you all. She walks between the two of them who are like slow motion lunging for each other. I wish I had never started a war with Stonekeeper. I wish I'd never let it drive me such arrogant extremes. Wish I had never let myself get so bogged down in being strong that I forgot what it was like to be happy. I wish I hadn't alienated so many. She turns. She walks up to the lance so that the point is slowly coming at her. And she reaches a hand up and puts it gently towards the face of this big giant woman, and she goes, "And I wish I had never killed you, my daughter." And then the lance just goes through Arlashna. And you are all back in the clearing. The proper, dark, dreary, underground clearing. And Arlashna is standing there, no lance in her, with her hand on the orb, and the giant wood splintering, proper, giant, lost woman holding that orb out to her.
So,
Arlashna, wipes her face.
What was all that?
I
think that was pretty self-explanatory, Mara.
Lotus
was
is
his
gonna.
memory.
Not really.
Lotus
you mean
is
not
gonna
really?
walk over.
I mean, I just chased the man who had the most disgusting change to my life.
It was a trial, Mara. You did the right thing on your first try. Good job. I'm gonna pat him on the back.
Lotus is gonna
I'm
walk
gonna-
over to Arlashna, put a hand on her arm. Can I give you a hug? Would you
She
like
just
a hug?
nods, she doesn't break eye contact with the lost. The lost stands back up and lets go of the orb, so now Arlashna is just holding it. And in common now for all of you to hear, same deep, singing voice, just the trial of choice and change. Weapons are tools, but only if used to better the world. Skills, choices. We can make them all, but the most important choice is being able to change. Turns to Arlashna and just goodbye, mother, and then just sinks into the ground until you're just in the clearing.
Doc kind
No.
of mutters a thank you as she disappears.
What do you mutter?
A thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I like what I did.
It's what you wish you could have done.
Probably, but I'm not satisfied with it. Feels wrong.
Well,
Gave in to so much hate.
thing about change is it's ever changing.
Maybe the
Okay.
point. Sorry.
Just because you chose something doesn't mean you can't change it. You're not defined by a choice, I think is the whole purpose of this.
Maybe the point of that trial wasn't to give you satisfaction, but rather to show you what it would have been like if you had done what you had wished. Maybe now you know that you did make the right choice. In the real world.
I don't know. But we're here now. And what happened happened. And it always will have happened. So let's use that. And let's save a city.
Let's.
Arlashna pats Lotus on the head, turns back to all of you, tears. We came here to get this for reinforcements, yes? I'd planned to take it back and attempt to commune with Titania, someone. But I think I have learned a valuable lesson from all of you. And from her. And she glances back. I decided that day that if I ignored all of my problems, pretended they never happened, pretended I never existed, that the world would be a better place, but that's not how you fix things. She holds the orb up, and you watch as the gold leafing sprawls down her arm and lights and trails and yeah. Her hair starts to kind of get a glow to it. Her dress is replaced by that same kind of armor you saw in that trunk way back when you unlocked it in her home for just a moment. Then it kind of fades away. And she goes, I am Arlashna, a
Hello,
matriarch. Hello, Dolus. But today, the Westwood does not need Arlashna. And she lifts the orb up and you watch the ground above you crack and shudder and all of the rock pull back and the sunlight starts beaming in from above as all of these giant roots are grabbing at the ground and ripping it open above you. She takes a really deep breath. And the orb floats back down, and her sword reappears in her hand, and she goes, Today, the Westwood needs Avel.
I think it needs a little bit of both.
I'd prefer Oval. Just Oval today.
And I think you all need rest.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm dying slowly.
Everything starts to twinkle and sparkle in the air around you. The light keeps refracting off of just invisible crystals all around you, and then suddenly you are standing in the middle of the area in front of the Eld tree. Just all of you are just there, and everyone around is just stumbling back and freaking out.
We're back!
That was cool.
That was so cool.
I'm gonna need you to show me how to do that.
Yeah, same.
Same.
You'll have to continue the process of sleeping with me and turning into an archfey, but maybe we can get there.
I mean, you don't have to hold it ransom. I would have just done it if you'd asked.
I'm not interested,
Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh. Rude. Remember, I'm warrior god form right now. Niceties, please. Walks past.
Oh,
Everybody's
divine
what the fuck?
one, as I follow.
Yeah, no, she is glowing as she walks past. She is just, the council's coming out, guards are being you gotta come see this. The council runs out and she's like, the Westwood needs an archfey? Neelis is so you are you... Yes, Illis, I am. Really? You're glowing in front of everyone and still? No, come on, Illis, please. She waves her hand and Illis is You're an archfey! And the whole crowd's like, whoa, whoa, and you're all like, you are all pushed in as a bunch of elves. They're like, oh, no, no. And Arlashna cracks her knuckles, and she's like, and her voice suddenly booms really loud for everyone to hear, but none of you feel any pain from the sheer volume. Just, I am Avel, patron archfey of Sanctuary and the Westwood, and I shall never leave my people again. And today, she looks down at Twink and she goes, we ready for war.
Wait, why are you looking at me?
Because I don't know how to break your gun.
Oh.
I'm
I can-
still poisoned.
She waves her hand, and all of you just immediately feel leagues better.
Sick.
Oh, that's better. Oh.
All of you feel great.
Yeah,
Now-
no, I can break the gun.
I have to go heal plenty of people, and as powerful as I am, I should probably still see if I can't get us some reinforcements. It is sort of a numbers game at some point.
Yes.
All of you, go rest. Tomorrow's probably the last day before you wake up to screams and the clash of swords.
Reassuring.
And I now have to explain to several thousand elves why the person that they call Grandma is announcing herself as the long-dead Archfey of War. So, I'll do that.
Good luck.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. She like turns really awkwardly. And you're all just sort of standing there as this crowd's like pushing past you towards the Eld tree to get in on our whatever Arlashna's explaining.
Well,
That was a lot to take in.
I was eventful.
Yeah.
All right, time to sleep.
But I feel, I mean,
We
did she not rejuvenate the rest of you?
We should rest. Well, not rest. We should. They said they would armor us. We should do that first.
Oh. Yes, probably retrieve our armor. And Twink, you can retrieve your rings.
Oh yeah, I gotta go find those fuckers.
Right.
You guys are all getting out to the fringes of the crowd and getting out, and you just hear, Doc! Turn. It's just Alina. I've been in that hospital for 4 hours!
Hello, Alina.
Hello.
Hi. So, how do I explain this? We brought back an Archfey to its full power, and, Illis said that the werewolves can wait. I'm sorry. I really thought that we could solve this problem today. Alina?
I hate my life. She just walks off.
Just even as she walks up, just Alina?
Y'all heading back to your apartment, or you gonna go to the
Yep.
Mara, you should go see if you can do anything in the next day with your big mamba.
Ooh. True.
Yeah, I've got some modifications I need to make to the robot anyways.
Yeah. So
Sounds
you all
like
head
a plan.
back. You come in.
Do I see where Alina goes off to?
She's going back to the apartment.
Okay, yeah.
No, we're behind her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you all come back in. By the time you go in, Alina has gone up the stairs like she is. The twins are sitting on the couch.
I'm gonna go up to Alina's room.
Okay. Twink, as you walk in, the twins are casting balls of light around the room. Oh, it's so cool.
If you don't put it down, I'll kill both of you.
Oh. Is that a threat or a promise?
It's both.
All right. Just take it off and put it down. Is it cursed?
How many times did you use it?
12, 14. 14, 12. Somewhere in that ballpark. Stupid though. It didn't work until I slept with it on all night.
You know what else is stupid?
Us? Point at each other.
Yep.
You have gotten your ring back properly. It is unattuned.
Shouldn't you two be doing something?
We are doing something. Lorelai said to stay out of the way.
Oh.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
I leave.
You leave, you just walk back to the robot. Starloss, you went up to Alina's room?
Yeah. I just go up and I knock on the door.
Sound of just something moving, and then the door cracks open. Just, what?
Alina, I need
Yeah.
your help.
Okay.
You won't need to wait for 4 hours. It's more of an immediate thing that you can do right now.
Okay.
I need you to attack me a few times with some of your spells.
What?
I need you to attack me a few times with some of your spells.
Your sister will kill me.
No, she won't, because they won't hit me. And I'm gonna pull out my rod. And just, this rod, magical. It absorbs spells when they're shot at me. Or aimed at me. Specifically me. And then I can reuse the energy as further spell casting.
A traitor who literally tried to stab your sister in the back told your sister that I was actually the traitor, and your sister still threatened me.
Do you want to do it in your room when my sister isn't?
I would believe your sister is everywhere.
She's not.
If she finds out I attacked you, I'm dead.
If I tell her that I told you to attack me, she won't.
I don't know about that. Roll persuasion.
Persuasion, that is... I have +3 persuasion, that's an 18.
Quincy, you just... We can do it if we go down to an open area.
Okay.
Your sister is there, and you
Okay.
explain in vivid detail to her the plan and why I am a necessary part of it.
Okay.
And that I am not attacking you because I am a traitor or want to hurt you.
Alright, let's go.
Like pushes the thing the rest of the way out of the way.
What is that? What is moving?
It's a shelf.
There's a shelf in front of your door.
Yeah.
Why?
So Lotus can't break it down.
You think a shelf would stop it?
I think a shelf would slow her down, which
No,
would give
it
me
wouldn't.
enough time to kill myself.
Okay. Well,
She's-
Lotus, call out as I start heading for the stairs.
Yes.
I have a plan. Alina's here for it too. Let's go outside.
Okay.
And I'll go outside.
All right. So you go outside with Alina, who is trailing awkwardly behind, staying away from Lotus.
All right. So you know how I have this rod that I found.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I've told you, this rod can absorb magical attacks at me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I am asking Alina to attack me so that I can absorb the power into the rod.
Okay.
Alina has no malicious intent towards me, and she is very afraid of you. and she believes that if she were to attack me, that you would attack her.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Do you give her your consent to attack me so that I can absorb her attacks with my rod?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why you're like.
It's more for her than it is for you.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as Dolus doesn't like get hurt or anything, then like
And even if I get hurt, that will only be my mistake. If she needs to die, I will tell you.
Okay.
Alina's just suddenly more uncertain. And then she's just like, will cantrips do or spells?
Spells.
Okay.
Don't worry, you will have another chance to rest before we head out. We have all of tomorrow, I believe, as well.
Right. Going to war.
Are you going to war with us, Alina?
I don't know if I have a choice.
Okay.
We need someone like you on our team, Alina.
Cannon fodder?
No, spellcaster.
Okay. I'm gonna attack you now.
All right, and I'm gonna hold out the rod in front of me, ready to absorb any spells shot at me.
I'm gonna go find Lorelai. I have a question I want.
No, you have to stay here, Lotus. That's the only way Alina feels safe, is if you're watching the whole time. That was our agreement.
Oh, okay.
And so you know that I am not doing this out of any ill intent. Alright, Dolus ready?
Yes, I think I got this. Haven't done this before.
Well, I hope you have it, because I'm not gonna miss. And then she magic missiles you.
Okay, I'm gonna absorb. How many magic missiles come at me?
Give me one second. 5.
Okay. I'm gonna absorb them with my
Okay.
rod of absorption.
It does still count as absorbing one spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
What level spell is it? Third.
That's a third level. Yeah, third level magic missile.
Cool. So that's 3 spell slots.
She sees you absorb it and she goes, oh, okay.
All right. Again.
She hits you with another. This goes on. She burns all of her spell slots, magic missiling you over and over again. And as you go, the rod starts to light up.
Huh,
Sort of.
looks like a charm.
Just breathing. They're like,
I want you to know, Alina, this will be a useful asset in the war.
okay. Just breathing really hard. Then she goes, I got one more than me, okay?
All right.
Mm. And she just boom, and 7 of them just arc out.
Okay.
And you twirl the rod and you catch them all. And then she just flops. She's like, oh god. Hey. Falls over.
I'm just kind of really satisfiedly hit the rod onto the ground.
Dolus, you have absorbed 21 spell slots.
Yay.
Sick.
Can I go find Lorelai now?
Yes, you can go find
you're
Laura.
good.
Okay, bye-bye. We'll just run off to find Lorelai.
Cool.
I can go to bed. Alina just drags herself out.
I'll go help her up.
Lotus, there was no sign of Lorelai in the apartment when you were briefly in there. But there is your whole flying ship. That is not where it was when you left, but you can find it. It is a flying ship in trees.
She's gonna fly over to it.
Yeah. You take flight and you fly around for a bit until you find it. It's to the far eastern edge of the city. And as you fly over, you see they're building like bunkers and trenches and walls and everything. They're making a proper like front line, and your ship is over it, lowering stuff down from a rope.
I'm gonna fly over, see if she can see Lorelei at all.
You see her, the helm.
Lorelei!
Oh, hey!
Hi. I have a question. And she lands beside Lorelei.
Eggle's there, and he's just like,
Oh, hi, Eggold. So, like, I talked to Eggold, like, I don't remember how many days ago. It's been a lot. And, like... So, what is the difference between sexual intercourse and sex?
Lorelei turns really aggressively to Eggold, and he just goes, whoa, no thoughts were perceived from her to be that would make that question happen at all.
He told me to ask you about it.
Okay, that sort of might have been a thing. But not those specific words. It made a lot of sense in context. Lorelei just turns back. She goes, the difference between sexual intercourse and sex?
Yeah.
There's not one. It's just shorthand for the other.
Oh.
I mean, unless you're talking about the sex of a creature, which would be whether it's male or female or neither of those.
Wait. So there's no difference?
Between sex and sexual intercourse? No.
Huh. So it... Huh. So they're both just about baby making?
Yeah. I mean, they can be.
Wait, what?
I can't believe I have to have this conversation. She's like rubbing her forehead. So, and then Lotus gets the birds and the bees talk from Lorelei.
Achievement unlocked.
Full breakdown of like when a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man, when people like each other, you da 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 da. Da, 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 da. And it can be for baby making, but da 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 da, and you should be the right person.
Sometimes it's for fun.
I love how Cryo said, and this is what happens, and it explains
And
in
it
detail
explains
what
it.
happens. That
Yeah.
made no sense.
But yeah, so she goes through the whole spiel, and then she finally like finishes the whole thing, and she's just like, okay. What did you garner from all of that?
You.
Yeah, that's usually what people garner the first time.
Ew.
Yeah. Trust me, it's much better in practice.
Sounds terrifying.
Okay, not one I've ever heard before, but alright. Maybe that's just my own bias.
Ew. Lotus just kind of like walks away.
Okay.
She like,
So-
you know the pigeon meme where they like on the building and then they just kind of hop off.
Yeah. She just does that over the side of the boat.
Yeah, and then she like takes flight and just kind of flies away. It's like, people do that?
Lorelei back on the deck is just like, how fucking dare you make that happen? Doc, Doc Mara, what are you two up to?
I would have headed to the ship to get the big mamba.
Oh, so you would have seen Lotus fly over you and then fly back because she's fast.
Probably.
You're like walking through the front, everyone digging holes and shaping earth and everything.
Do I you said I spot her, right? Like,
it's up.
leaving?
The ship's like up above you. You see Lotus like flying away over you. Yeah.
Lotus.
Huh? Oh, hi.
I know you just came from this. Can you fly me up there?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Dude, can you believe that people have sex? She flies down and like grabs him.
What?
Yeah, Lorelai told me about sex. Can't believe. Like, I thought it was just for baby making, but apparently people do it just for fun as well. It's like, huh?
She's
Yeah,
having
it's-
this crisis.
It's an experience.
Have you ever done it?
Where did this come from, Lotus?
So, so I have
Have
this
you?
book.
No bitches. I hate this.
No maidens.
I fucking hate this arc
This
of
is great.
Starloss.
I love this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Book.
Where did this
It
come
is-
from?
I had this book, and then there was sexual intercourse in it. I was really confused by it because it was about baby making. So I asked Eggold about it because like people were saying that like sexual intercourse was another way to say sleeping with each other, and then like drinking Arlashna. So I asked Eggold about it, and then Eggold told me to ask Lorelai about it, and then Lorelai told me what it was, and it's like, wait, they're sleeping together.
You
I don't-
fly up over the deck as all of this is happening, and you see Lorelai is like holding Eggold.
Lotus, I think it was a different type of sleeping together. It's both a saying and a thing you do. So it can mean both sexual intercourse and sleeping next to a person. But I think, Have you talked to your brother about this?
No, not yet.
You should ask him.
Okay.
Drops you on the top deck. Lotus is just gonna dive bomb again as soon as you drop Mara off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mara, you're now standing there, and Lorelai's just looking at you, and she goes, She try and get the sex talk out of you too?
Oh yeah.
The fun just back to Eggold.
Did you have the talk with her? One of you?
I had a reasonable talk with her. This one told her to have a talk with a reasonable talk with me about it.
Oh.
Eggled's like, look, I'm a grown man in my 30s who's known her for like a month. I don't want to have this conversation with the bird child.
That's fair. Off the top subject, I guess two things. Lorelai, where did you put my big mamba? The big
In your
backpack?
weird vine-covered bed.
Okay, thank you. Eggold, I wanted to show you something real quick. Since you are a navigator, I need to talk to Doc about a thing, but I figured I'd come to you first.
I'm
What do
not
you make
going
of
anywhere.
This, and I'll pull out the star map.
Oh. That's I recognize that.
Do you?
Yeah, that's for sailing northeasterly out of Inshasla.
Huh.
How do you have that? Why do you have that?
So this was in one of my pockets when, the whole transformation happened. And it seems to show me constellations. Just, I don't know where exactly it leads. I'm not fully understanding it as of yet, and I'm trying to grasp it as much as I can. I can cast spells through it. It's pretty cool.
Lorelai, put me down. Like, drops him. Yeah, I guess if we end up going that way, what is this, like a treasure map? Did the fish god thing gave this to you?
Yeah.
Do you want to go to a place that a weird fish god gave you a map to?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Seems kind of fun, actually.
Lorelai like leans in and she's like, treasure map?
Possibly. You like adventure?
I like treasure. So if we survive this war, we'll go get treasure.
Yeah.
And if you don't survive this war, what pocket do you keep that in?
What pocket do you want me to keep it in?
One where you're not likely to get blood on it. Maybe like a side one.
I use my right arm a lot. I'll do the left pocket.
Okay. I'm glad we've come to this agreement.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll work without me though, but you can try.
I'll definitely try.
Well, I guess in the meantime, thank you for carrying stuff back. Appreciate it.
Sure. Goes back to like what she was doing at the helm.
And I guess we'll be discussing more on this, Eggle.
I'm trapped here. You will discuss whatever you want, I suppose.
All right.
All right. He just like goes back to organizing stuff to then take it off the ship.
I'll rush off to my room. Then
you go to your
big mamba.
You find the big mamba on your bed.
Yes.
And as you start working on organizing it and seeing what you got, Doc, real quick, what are you up to?
I'm with Twink.
Oh,
I went to the apartment.
Sitting with the robot?
So
yeah.
Never left.
Yeah, Twink's just working on the robot. You're just sitting there.
Doc's kind of staring at it and watching Twink work on it. Reflects back a little bit on what he just went through. Were you there when they found him?
What?
The robots.
What are you talking about?
They were stolen from Ice Home. And I guess they ended up in the Empire. So were you there when they found him?
No.
These things are awful.
No, they aren't.
The way they're used is.
Yeah, it's dependent on the person inside.
Why'd you do it?
Why'd I do what?
Work on him.
Because I was paid to.
Do you regret it?
No.
That paper. The scroll. I know you don't have any answers. But do you think you or the other you was the one that made it?
The scroll?
Yeah.
Scroll's just a normal scroll.
Then how's it using it like that?
Oh, I think it's the power source.
And we don't know what that is. We know what it is, but we don't know what it is.
Correct.
What are you planning on doing with this one?
Blowing up the gun.
Sure it's got enough firepower for that?
I'll make sure it does.
You gonna be in it?
Hope not.
I hope not too. I'm gonna take a walk.
All right. Don't fall asleep.
Okay.
You might not make it back.
Yeah. Doc just kind of just huffs for a second. And he gets up and walks out the door.
Dolus, you are sitting there looking over your rod as it glowing.
Did I already take Alina back to her room?
Yes.
Okay. And then I went back outside?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I did go back outside. Do I see Doc,
Yeah.
leaving?
You watch Doc leave. That's when...
Doc,
Yeah.
you look like you're just walking around sulking. Do you want to see something?
I don't think I'm sulking, but yeah, sure.
I have a feeling. No, I'm not sure. But I feel like something is about to happen with this rod. Alright? Have I told you about this? It absorbs spells.
You have not told me about it, no.
I can use this rod to absorb spells. I just did it with Alina. That's why she was so tired when I brought it back in.
Uh-huh.
And then I can use the spells that are absorbed to regain my own energy for casting.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm about to do that.
Right now?
Yep. And I point my hand
What?
upward, and I'm gonna gust of wind into the air, just straight above
Just
me.
a tunnel of wind fires off straight into the sky. Everybody's like, oh shit, like all the people walking around are just suddenly shocked.
And I just stop it as soon as I cast it. It just goes and just ends. Kind of wave my hand. All right. Let's see. And I just in my hand kind of twirl it around and then grab it with both hands and kind of Moses it, hit it right into the dirt. And as I do, the rod just glows a brilliant yellow light. And then the light kind of turns almost kind of a more sickly green, sort of the color of Dolus's magics and stuff. And then from the bottom up, the light that is covering this sort of boring metal rod kind of falls off of it like dust as it starts revealing a beautifully gray metal shining as it goes up. And then towards over the halfway point, you see feathers that seem to be curling around, going in a cyclone towards the top, where there are what seems to be two wings curled around a small green orb at the top. And it seems to have a cloudy sort of look to it, almost like Dolus's ring inside. Oh. Wow,
you know it would do
really
that?
glad. Nope, I'm really glad it did, because it would have been really awkward if I said something would have happened and then nothing happened.
What just happened?
I think I'm now properly attuned to it. It's my rod.
Can I come flying in at the
Let's not use that phrasing.
Yes. Lotus comes shooting in max speed.
Lotus, look!
There's not a difference between sex and sexual intercourse, and apparently people have sex for fun?
What?
And on that note, we are going to end our session.
Doc is frozen in place.
Yes!
What was your
All
favorite
of you.
part?
In that moment, reeling with knowledge and your experiences in Shaselach, thinking about the last chunk of day and how much it was, because it was much.
It was much.
Reflecting on change and your newfound knowledges. All of you are going to level up.
Oh
Hey!
shit! Let's go.
Let's go.
This was fun. I had fun. A lot happened. I'm sorry that I sidelined a solid chunk of it for story, but hey, yeah, it's gotta happen. So,
Holy shit.
I got
Yeah.
one thing to say.
yeah?
What was your favorite part, little Timmy? I like when they talked about sexual intercourse for a really long time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, show up to our Discord and tell us how stupid all of that was. Goodbye. See you next
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.